There are scenes fans swear they saw that never actually aired, quotes that don't exist, character details that were never canon. Today, we're breaking down every major Mandela Effect in Family Guy that has fans questioning their own memories. "Shut up, Meg" was never a catchphrase. This is the big one. Go ask any casual Family Guy fan what Peter's most famous line is, and they'll say, "Shut up, Meg." Here's the problem. Peter almost never says it. Seriously. If you go back and watch the show, Peter rarely tells Meg to shut up. Other characters say it occasionally, and the sentiment is there in how the family treats her, but it's not a recurring catchphrase. Fans have Mandela effected this into existence because it perfectly captures the family's dynamic with Meg. The phrase appears so infrequently that when it does show up, it's actually notable. But because the internet memed it into oblivion, everyone remembers it as something Peter says constantly he doesn't. The chicken's name isn't the giant chicken. Everyone calls him the giant chicken. Forums, wikis, YouTube videos, everyone uses that name. But in the show, he's actually named Ernie. His full name is Ernie the Giant Chicken, but the show almost always just calls him Ernie. The giant chicken part is a descriptor that fans turned into his entire identity. If you watch the episodes where he appears, characters refer to him as Ernie, not the giant chicken. This Mandela effect happened because Giant Chicken is more memorable and descriptive, so fans collectively forgot his actual name and replaced it with the nickname. Freakin' sweet was never that common. Peter says freakin' sweet sometimes, but not nearly as often as people think. Fans remember this as his main catchphrase from early seasons, something he said every episode, but if you go back and count, it appears way less frequently than you'd expect. The line became associated with Peter through memes and compilations, which made it seem more prevalent than it actually was. Similar to "Shut Up, Meg", this is a case where the fanbase amplified a line into something bigger than it was in the actual show. Meg's hair color confusion. Quick, what color is Meg's hair? Most people immediately say brown or brunette, except Meg's hair is officially pink. It's been pink since day one. The animators use a pinkish brown color that reads differently depending on the lighting and your screen settings, which causes the confusion. Fans argue about this constantly. Some swear it's brown, others insist it's pink. The official character sheets list it as pink, but the way it's rendered in the show makes it ambiguous enough that people genuinely can't agree on what they're seeing. The Conway Twitty cutaways weren't in that many episodes. Everyone remembers Family Guy doing endless Conway Twitty musical cutaways. Fans complain about them constantly, saying the show relied on them way too much. In reality, Conway Twitty only appeared in 4 episodes. 4. That's it. But because those cutaways were so long and disruptive, they left a massive impression. People remember them as happening constantly, but the show actually used them sparingly. The Mandela effect here is confusing the intensity of the bit with the frequency of it. Giggity wasn't always Quagmire's thing. Quagmire's giggity catchphrase is iconic now, but fans often misremember when it started. Many people think Quagmire was saying giggity from episode 1. He wasn't. The catchphrase didn't become a regular thing until around season 2 or 3, and it didn't fully take over his character until even later. Early Quagmire had different speech patterns and jokes. Giggity evolved into his defining trait over time, but fans have retroactively applied it to his entire run, remembering it as always being there. The Road to episodes aren't all Stewie and Brian. When you think Road to episodes, you think Stewie and Brian adventures. That's the formula, right? Except Road to Rhode Island, the first one, is actually a Brian solo episode. Stewie appears, but it's primarily Brian's story about dealing with his past and his mother. Fans misremember the entire series as being Stewie and Brian duo. Adventures from the start, but the format evolved over time. The first Road to episode doesn't match the template that came later. James Woods, the character, appears way less than you think. James Woods became such an iconic recurring character that fans remember him being in dozens of episodes. In reality, he appears in maybe 6 to 7 episodes total across the entire series. He's memorable and impactful, but his actual screen time is minimal compared to what people remember. This is classic Mandela Effect. A character makes such a strong impression that your brain inflates how often they appeared. James Woods is so associated with Family Guy that fans think he's a regular recurring character when he's really just an occasional guest. Evil Monkey never said anything. The evil monkey is famous for pointing menacingly at Chris from the closet. Fans remember him making threatening noises, growling, or even speaking. He never did. The evil monkey never makes a sound in his early appearances, he just points. That's the joke. He's completely silent and Chris is terrified of him anyway. When the evil monkey's backstory is revealed and he starts talking, fans were shocked because they remembered him making noise before. But go back and watch. He's silent the entire time until his origin episode. The vomit scene isn't in every episode. There's a popular belief that Family Guy had a phase where someone vomited in almost every episode. Fans remember it as a constant, overused gag. The actual number? It happened occasionally, maybe once every few episodes during certain seasons. But because vomiting is so gross and memorable, it felt more frequent than it was. This is your brain playing tricks on you. Disgusting moments stick in your memory more than normal jokes, so you overestimate how often they happened. Bruce, the performance artist voice. Bruce, the effeminate performance artist character, has a very distinctive voice, but fans constantly misremember what his catchphrase sounds like. People swear he says, "Oh no," in a specific way in every episode. The reality is his vocal inflections vary, and he doesn't have one consistent catchphrase. His voice actor improvises different line deliveries, but fans have mentally consolidated them into one definitive version that doesn't actually exist. Death didn't change actors. Many fans remember Death's voice changing between his first appearance and later episodes, with some claiming the character was recast. The truth is more complicated. Death was always voiced by Norm Macdonald in Death is a Bitch, but later appearances featured Adam Carolla. However, the character was essentially rebooted with a different personality, not just recast. Fans misremember this as a simple voice change when it was actually a complete character redesign that happened to involve a different actor. The Mandela Effect makes people think it was just a casting swap. Meg wasn't always voiced by Mila Kunis. This one's actually true, but the Mandela Effect is in how fans remember the transition. Many fans think Mila Kunis has voiced Meg since season 1. She hasn't. Lacey Chabert voiced Meg in the first season. But because Kunis has been Meg for 20 plus years, fans retroactively forget Chabert ever existed. When people go back and rewatch season 1, they're shocked by how different Meg sounds. They think something's wrong with the audio or that it's a different character, not realizing there was actually a voice actress change. The Peter Copter scene. Fans swear there's an episode where Peter turns into a helicopter by spinning his arms. They remember him flying around, making helicopter noises, causing destruction. This scene doesn't exist, at least not in the way people remember it. There are scenes where Peter does ridiculous physical gags, and there might be a brief moment where he spins his arms, but the full Peter Copter scene fans describe isn't in any episode. It's either a combination of multiple scenes merged in people's memories, or it's confusion with a different show entirely. Peter's only laugh. Peter's laugh is iconic, but fans remember it as being exactly the same every single time. In reality, Peter has multiple laughs. Sometimes it's higher pitched, sometimes it's shorter, sometimes he adds extra syllables. Seth MacFarlane varies the delivery constantly, but fans have mentally standardized it into one specific sound. When you go back and listen, you realize Peter's laugh is way more varied than you thought. Your brain just compressed all those variations into one definitive version. The show didn't get canceled 3 times. This is a widely believed myth. Everyone knows Family Guy was canceled 3 times before finally being brought back permanently. The truth, Family Guy was canceled twice. Once after season 2, then brought back, then canceled again after season 3. It returned in 2005 and has been on continuously since. Fans misremember it as 3 cancellations, possibly confusing it with other shows or exaggerating the story over time. But the actual number is 2. Consuela doesn't say no as much as you think. No is Consuela's catchphrase, right? She says it constantly. Actually, she varies her dialogue a lot more than people remember. No is her most famous line, but she has full conversations and other repeated phrases like, "I stay," and "We need more lemon pledge." The Mandela Effect turned no into her only characteristic when she's actually a more developed, recurring character. Fans just remember the meme version of her, not the actual character. The theme song, lyrics changed. Some fans swear the Family Guy theme song had different lyrics in early seasons. They remember alternate versions or extended verses. The theme song has remained mostly consistent, but there's one real change people forget. The original pilot had a slightly different arrangement. However, fans often misattribute other changes that never happened, thinking they remember alternate lyrics that don't exist. This is compounded by the fact that some international versions do have different lyrics, creating false memories for people who might have heard those versions once. Some of these are harmless, misremembering a catchphrase or a character's name. Others completely change how you remember the show, but they all prove that memory is way less reliable than we think. Which of these shocked you the most? Are there any Family Guy Mandela effects I missed? Let me know in the comments. I want to see what false memories other fans have. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.